Why $1.8 million? What is it for? And it is reaching the peak of storm seasons. We need a lot of outreach to tell people we exist. So I have been asked, why $1.8 million? Where is the $1.8 million going to go? So $1.8 million is the proposal that I put together, like pie in the sky, all hands on deck for the state of Texas. I was supposed to go there and have meetings there, and then the flooding happened in Kerrville. So that put a stop to the meetings, of course, because they needed to handle it. I guess it was one more of those situations that got put on hold to disaster, because go figure, it's the nature of the beast, right? When they happen, everything else kind of stops. And I thought it was too important to wait. So the number $1.8 million was in my head and figured, you know what, forget it. Why don't we just raise it on our own? And then we can, in addition to helping Texas, we can, continue to really strengthen our ties and strengthen our reach in Florida. So that was where 1.8 came from. But I figured, you know what, instead of asking one person for 1.8, let's instead ask 1.8 million people for $1. I have no problem asking people for $1. So that's really where it came from. And really what the money goes toward is letting people know we exist. And it's also strengthening our database, because one thing that we do before we go into a state is we data mine everything. So we get as many resources as humanly possible. So we are prepared for someone. Let's say, for example, if you want to take Florida, you have someone that goes through a disaster, they don't know where to turn and what to do. When you download Local Relief and when you go to Florida Resources, right now we have free legal resources, free family resources, free senior service. But we have all these free services that are already available, but we put them in a directory. In order to get them in a directory, we need to find them. So we do need money to find it. We need people to staff it, and we need to let people know this exists. So we need outreach. We need a lot of outreach. We need flyers. We need marketing. We need any method we can find to tell people we exist, especially surrounding disasters. That's a big one. But also to expand our services. There are a lot of services that we do not have in the app yet, or features, I should say, that we are going to. So that being said too, we need the funding for that. And then of course, the more users we have, the more bandwidth we need, and the more space it takes, so the more our expenses increase. Everyone has their idea of where I should go for funding, and it should be a grant, and it should be this, should be government, should be businesses, when in actuality, it's way too important to wait. Where grants technology-wise, technology's already done. There's so many what ifs, and there's so many different situations where at this point, we just need to get this going, and we need to get this in the hands of people that need it, especially right now, because now is the beginning of storm season, and it is reaching the peak of storm season. So that is why we need it now. That is why $1.8 million. And that is also why we can't wait. That's why it's so important. So that's what we do and what the need is. But in advance, I thank you for your support and for your dollar. I absolutely thank you. #1app, 1 community. Share it with 3 people. Don't forget. Thank you guys.